Hello and welcome to my channel Ben Talks Balls. Today I will be having a little bit of a discussion and giving my thoughts on the Tottenham vs Manchester United game that just recently happened. Before we do begin, I would like to clarify that I am a Manchester United fan and most of my analysis, so to speak, will be based on Manchester United. So I'd like to apologize to any Spurs fans beforehand. Anyways, let's begin. Let's begin by talking about how Manchester United started the game. As you all know, Jose Mourinho loves to employ a deeper defensive block when coming up against the supposed tougher oppositions, and Manchester United's biggest struggle this season has come against these deeper blocks, particularly losing against the likes of Newcastle, Watford, and Burnley. Manchester United absolutely failed to create any clear-cut opportunities despite the domination of possession in the first half. They were too slow on the ball, and in build-up, I think Harry Maguire played far too many sideways passes. Scott McTominay as well could be guilty of being indecisive on the ball, taking an extra second and allowing the Spurs defense to restructure and reorganize the team, blocking off any space to be played towards the attacking players. Overall, if United want to improve in breaking down these lower blocks, they need to have a higher intensity as they progress into the opposition's half. By moving forward in such a high tempo, what United does is it causes uncertainty among the opposition defense, leaving gaps of spaces for the attackers to run into and to exploit and to possibly score from. But that was non-existent against Spurs, in the first half at least, with Rashford and Martial feeding off scraps. Manchester United lacked real presence down their right-hand side, with Daniel James pulling off a poor performance against Spurs. His strengths ultimately lie when he has space to run into, but when you come up against the Spurs team that like to defend deep, you won't have much space to operate in. Because of this, Manchester United lacked real presence and threat down their right-hand flank, and they failed to supply proper ammunition towards Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial to score and shoot from. I think Daniel James needs to improve his overall play if he is to become a Manchester United quality player in the future. With his technical ability lacking, he needs to understand that you can't just knock the ball past an opponent to become a successful player at the top level. For this reason, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer chose the wrong option in starting him over Mason Greenwood, because Greenwood adds a different dimension to Manchester United's attack, with his ability on the ball as well as the uncertainty he creates into the defenders being top-notch in making chances out of nothing. Despite me saying this, I genuinely want Daniel James to succeed at the club because I think the attitude he shows despite what he's been through is brilliant and top-notch. That is why I'm so frustrated with his poor performances time and time again, and I really hope he does improve to finally show that he has a future at United in the long term. Also, Anthony Martial is virtually non-existent in the first half. What you expect from the Frenchman is his ability to drop deeper to facilitate play as well as to link up with his fellow teammates. But he failed to make any substantial impact in the attack. He not only failed to involve himself in the game, but he also failed to pose a threat in the box. This is so frustrating because Martial is genuinely one of my favorite players to watch at the club. He is a brilliant player with great technical ability, but he needs to cut out the inconsistencies of the game if he is to become a top player, which I know he definitely has the capability to be. Rashford as well did not look like his usual self, with him being overcrowded by the Spurs players. I think on the ball at times as well, he was sloppy and didn't make the right pass or make the right movement going forward. This is definitely something down to his lack of match sharpness, and I hope in future games he will come back to the Rashford of old, which we saw notch 14 goals in the Premier League. A standout performer for United, at least in the first half, was Bruno Fernandes. The Portuguese Magnifico was exactly that, magnificent. He drove the team forward with his creative ability, picking out passes at the right time, as well as breaking the lines with his dynamic through ball. Without him, United would look hopeless, with him being their only creative spark throughout the game and being the only one motivating the team to push on. I've been really impressed with his form at United, and I'm certain that he will continue to impress. I think the goal United gave away was poor. Harry Maguire's positioning was awful, allowing Steven Bergwijn to run through the space due to him being caught in no man's land. David De Gea's handling as well was so poor. He's definitely been our best player post Fergie, but in the last 18 months he's dropped off form and has lost confidence. I said the break was needed for him to regain his concentration and his ability back, but the early signs are not promising and he needs to step it up before United opt for Dean Henderson next season. Manchester United looked improved in the second half and really pushed Spurs on the back foot in search of an equalizer, but as we all know, the real change in tide was when Paul Pogba was introduced on the hour mark alongside Mason Greenwood. Where do I begin with this man? He is incredible. That performance was outstanding and among one of the best I've seen from any midfielder in the world. He showed his class. dominating and dictating the play, as well as linking up with Bruno Fernandes brilliantly. You all need to see his pass to Marcus Rashford on the half volley. That was one of the best passes I've seen ever. I am licking my lips at the prospect of him linking up with Bruno, supplying the balls for the likes of Rashford, Martial, and Mason Greenwood. He showed his class when he won the penalty, dancing past Eric Dyer brilliantly to get into the box. And of course, Bruno Fernandes, as always, dispatching the penalty. Mason Greenwood as well looked really assured when he came on, showing a real mature performance and even almost scoring the winner. Comparing Mason Greenwood at 18 to Marcus Rashford when he made his debut, it is clear to see that Mason Greenwood is a more polished player and will definitely be one of the best players of the next generation. I am so excited to see this young man develop at the club, and he is genuinely a potential world beater. I can't wait to see what he has in store for us, not only in the following games, but in the future seasons to come. Overall, I'm disappointed with the performance. We should have won the game, and we've dropped 2 points, allowing Chelsea to extend the points lead over us. We really need to improve on our consistency as well as our ability to finish chances. And over the remaining 8 games, we have to show that we are worthy of playing in the Champions League. I'm hopeful, but this is really Ole's make or break moment. It's either he acts now and fulfills the Champions League hopes, or United fans will be calling for his head. I remain optimistic because I believe in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy me rant about United because there's going to be a lot more where that came from. Do the usuals, like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye.